All right, what's up, everybody? Today we have a brand new thing going on. I'm sure you can tell by the way everything's set up. Definitely, probably by like the title, thumbnail, things like that. This is different, and it should be coming out on a Wednesday. I plan to do these hopefully every Wednesday. I can't be certain that there's not going to be some, misses every now and again, but the plan is to get this out every Wednesday. And basically, this is, my podcast, right? I'm deciding to do a podcast. Now, is it the traditional podcast? Not really. I don't have somebody here with me. Not that I'm not like open to having guests on it or something eventually. If it gets to that point, I don't even know if it'll make it that long. But, it's not that I'm like against that. It's just I don't for the time being. I don't have any like producer on it or anything weird like that. Welcome to the Skeleton Key experience. 100% ripping Joe Rogan off on the name. A, because I thought it would be funny, and B, because I can, right? Who's going to stop me? So, that's that, right? Good intro and welcome to the podcast. If you've watched some of my commentary videos before, this is going to kind of be like that. But also not. I used to do like a lot of like videos in the past where I would just kind of sit down and talk about issues. And as time has gone on, especially over like the past year, like 2023 mainly, I haven't really been doing those anymore. And I kind of wanted to bring them back in a bigger way. And a lot of those videos also, if I have been recording them, are just ones that I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to put that out. So with the goal of the podcast, it's just to kind of be free flowing, something I don't really have to edit a whole lot unless I say some crazy shit that I'm like, oh, okay, that has to be cut out. It's just going to be free flowing. I'm just going to kind of be talking about things that I've seen going on and giving my own opinions. So it's kind of like those videos used to be, but, in a more official format. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. Since this is the first episode, I had to go ahead and get that out of the way. As for like time limits on these and like how long they're going to be, I know like a lot of podcasts are like around an hour or something like that. I don't really give a shit. If I'm being honest, I don't know how long I'm going to make, like how long or short these are going to be. It's just kind of be me talking, and when it ends, it ends. That's kind of my goal with it, right? It's not the most try-hardy podcast in the world. It's more me rambling on about shit, hoping you guys want to listen to it. And, that I'm just kind of cloaking it under, the mask of being a podcast, but it's really my own thing. Let's be honest here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the first topic that I want to talk about. Now, the first topic that I want to talk about is YouTube has changed, okay? YouTube has changed drastically in my eyes. Now, a little insight into me. I grew up watching YouTube from pretty early. I think it was probably like 8. I was maybe 8, right? So, going based off of, timelines and shit. If I was 8, it was probably like around 2012, something like that. I don't really know when YouTube started, but it was pretty early, like early YouTube, right? It wasn't the craziest. You didn't have like the new big YouTubers. They weren't really like popping. It was still pretty new. The people that were popping at the time was kind of like PewDiePie. But also still the old people were still there. Smosh was very much so prominent, and this and that. It was kind of like I started watching in between the flip from old to like new YouTube. And now there was also like, I wasn't necessarily in like the YouTube loop at the time. For example, like at the time, the person I was watching the most was fucking Stampy Longnose, right? Or whatever he changed his channel name to. I don't know. He's gone through like a couple different names, which I know is for like weird YouTube issue reasons, which is fine. But yeah, I was watching him at the time. That was pretty much all I was watching 24/7, those kind of Minecraft videos. Those, and then, it branched out into other Minecraft YouTubers because I was just, that was what my generation was doing at the time. Let's be honest. I think there was very few people that say that they, weren't watching Minecraft videos on YouTube at that time. But as time goes on, I was kind of exposed to more and more. The more YouTube I watched, the more I kind of understood YouTube and got around YouTube. And so that opened me up to eventually some of the bigger things going on. This is like when I found Leafy, iDubbbz, Rice Gum, Tana Mojo. Like, I kind of started moving into the more like the odd side of YouTube, right? And this was probably like I don't know, mid to late 2010s, right? Or not mid to late, like early to mid 2010s, and kind of into the late as well, just all of the 2010s. I kind of started, branching into stuff like that. No, maybe it is mid to late. I don't know. I don't know how time works. But yeah, I kind of started branching out into, stuff like that. I started watching newer YouTube. And so, a lot of figures became really, really prominent to me. Now, I was never the biggest of iDubbbz fans, if I'm being completely honest. Did I know who he was? Yes. Was I a huge fan of him? Not particularly. I was a big Leafy fan at a point in time. I don't think I would say I'm a big Leafy fan nowadays, especially with what he puts out on Twitter. He puts out some absolutely crazy fucking takes. So yeah, my relationship with Leafy content has definitely declined over the years. It's probably a positive that he's gone. I mean, I can't lie, he's still a big inspiration for the channel and stuff like that. Like, basically the whole commentary genre was, he was a big player in really building that up. So like, I do have to give him some credit for that, but I do think he's gone kind of off the rails lately. So, like already, this is what I'm talking about. Like, my opinions of YouTubers have kind of shifted recently, or like YouTubers have shifted. Like, it's weird. It's weird. Leafy has become far too extreme for me at this point. He's just kind of set out on his own island. I don't really know what he does anymore. I kind of stopped following up on him. It was kind of crazy right before he got banned. Like, I won't lie. The stuff he was doing before he got banned was a little out there for me. I was kind of like, okay, it's still Leafy. Like, I'll still watch Leafy, but this is getting out there. And then, it really took a turn when he got banned, and he just kind of lost it. And yeah, so that's my take on Leafy. But also iDubbbz, right? I've realized that iDubbbz has really changed recently. And it's weird that like old YouTube that felt like it was so set and like these people are just going to be these people like forever, just really shifted and really changed. And that was interesting and weird. Like, iDubbbz is completely different. And I don't know why I just came to this realization the other day. Actually, I think I know, and we'll get into that in a second, but iDubbbz has also completely changed. I was never really a big fan of him, but with his like apologies and stuff like that recently, that's respectable. And, I respect iDubbbz for doing all of that. Cool for him. And I think I'm probably a bigger iDubbbz fan now than I ever was before. So, it's weird. It's a weird change, coming from iDubbbz especially. But also, and I think this is what made me want to bring this up today, is yesterday or last night kind of, I was watching the Fear and podcast. Now, it's a podcast I watch fairly frequently. I know that there's going to be some people out there that are going to start making assumptions now of me because, I brought that up. But it is what it is, right? So pretty much I was watching the Fear and podcast last night, which is, typically Hassan, Will Neff, Austin Show, and Cutie Cinderella, which are, big prominent figures on Twitch. If you're not very into the Twitch atmosphere, I wasn't at a certain point in time. I've always started on YouTube. YouTube's always been like my home. I definitely know what's going on YouTube a little more than Twitch. But, in the last couple of years, I've gotten more into like the Twitch side of like drama stuff. And, it's interesting. It's exciting. It's like a new, fresh perspective, like where I feel like I can't predict everything. Like on YouTube, I feel like things are just like, oh, well, what the fuck do you expect? That's that person. Of course, they're going to say something like that. But with Twitch, it's kind of a new environment, right? Something that I'm not too accustomed to. So I really enjoy that podcast. But the other day, when I was watching it last night, Will Neff was not on it, which is, kind of a letdown because I do find Will Neff pretty funny. And, definitely a good like staple of the podcast. But, they had Tana Mojo on instead, or Mojo. I don't know how you say it, but, nobody really knows how to say it. Let's be honest. I'm trying my best, though. I really am. So she was on, and she was somebody that I always looked at as like a kind of crazy, like out of touch, just like bratty kind of person. That was like what she gave off to me when she was like, when all of her kind of controversies were happening. For example, the Jake Paul marriage thing, which was strange. TanaCon, like stuff like this, right? Where iDubbbz was even involved in the TanaCon thing. And, just a lot of things like that were just crazy, right? And ever since then, I had never really like gone back and looked like, oh, like what's Tana up to today? Because I didn't really care. It's not like she was the worst offender of anything in my eyes. But she definitely wasn't like a YouTuber that I was like, damn, that's a cool ass YouTuber. I was just kind of like, okay, she's, weird and does a lot of shit that's strange and controversial. So that was kind of how I looked at her for the longest time. And before this podcast, which, is kind of where I really came to this realization, but a little bit before that, a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago now, she went on she was on a Sidemen video, a Sidemen Sunday. Now, I watch the Sidemen still. I know I'm probably a little older than a lot of their viewer base, but they were another one of those, groups that I kind of grew up watching, right? I watched the Sidemen from basically when they started doing Sidemen Sundays a little bit. I watched them a little bit before that. But yeah, pretty much I was there for like the start of Sidemen Sundays I was watching. And I've watched probably almost all of them. So it's like, it's just something I do now. And it's something I don't really see myself stopping. Like, they're still entertaining. They're funny. There's funny bits in them. So, I still enjoy watching them. So I watched this one, and they had a Tana Mojo on it. And I thought, okay, I watched, and I was like, maybe she's not as bad as I thought. But then after seeing her go on, the Fear and podcast last night when I watched it, I think that she really has changed as a person. Like, I think that she knows things that she's done in the past have been like fucked up and controversial. And I think that she really has changed. I think that more than anything, she just kind of wants to be like a normal person now. And, that's respectable, right? I mean, I can't say anything bad about that. I think that she grew up very like thrust into the YouTube spotlight, which I'm sure is weird. And she was weird. Didn't really know what to do with that, and now she just kind of wants to be normal. And I mean, I respect that. I don't know what to say. I now see Tana Mojo as kind of cool. Like I have a respect for her. And, same with iDubbbz. Like, two people that I didn't really give a fuck about or genuinely didn't respect before, I kind of now have respect for. And, somebody who I did respect previously, Leafy, I've lost respect for. It feels like YouTube has just done like a full 360. It's interesting to me. I don't know. I'm curious what other kinds of, YouTubers are going to make like a weird 360. And I guess you could say like, oh, well, Anthony Padilla kind of did this stuff, kind of like reinvented himself on his own and, blah, blah, blah and stuff like that. And that's kind of true, but I don't know. It feels like, to me, it's hitting me now. But I don't know. We'll see where that goes in the future. Anyway, second thing that I wanted to talk to, absolutely fantastic segue between points. I know. I mean, I'm the podcasting god at this point. Is that I saw a thing. I think it's just rumor, but who knows? Apparently, Elon Musk said that he is going to start charging X/Twitter users, if they want to be on the platform. At least I think that was what it was. Let me see if I can. Yeah. So Elon Musk suggests he will charge all, not just like verified or, the people who want to pay for the stupid blue check mark that nobody even gives a fuck about anymore. He will charge all X/Twitter users a, quote, small monthly fee to be on the platform. Now, let's be honest. Twitter has been dying since Elon Musk, jumped on it, right? It's been dying so fast, it's not even funny. People used to look at Twitter as like a decent, it used to be probably one of the most influential kind of social media platforms that there was, and not necessarily because it was like a positive space or anything like that, but because let's be honest, everybody and their fucking grandma was on Twitter. And everything happened on Twitter. If there was beef between two YouTubers, it was on Twitter. Like there were gonna be tweets about it. And people who were going to support either side were also gonna be there on Twitter. And was it toxic as fuck? Yes. But like that's what happened on Twitter. And it was kind of great for that reason. Like it was great to see. It was just a central place where like everything happened. Like it didn't matter if you were a YouTuber, you were beefing on Twitter with like other YouTubers. If you were a Twitch streamer, you were beefing on Twitter with other Twitch streamers. If you were a fucking influencer, you were beefing on Twitter with people. If you were like an A-list celebrity, you were beefing on Twitter with people. Like it was where everybody would go to it was like the drama fucking central. It was great. Everybody was on Twitter. Amazing things happened. It was crazy. It was wild. It was like, it was a fun experience. Twitter used to be fun. It used to be fun to shit post on Twitter. It used to be fucking awesome, right? Elon Musk came in and it went downhill. You had to pay for like Twitter Blue. You had to pay to keep your check mark, which was fucked up because now, like, who the fuck really knows? Is it a verified account? Is it not? Is there, like, now you would have to do, like, research. Like, if somebody fucking came at you on Twitter, you're like, well, I don't know. Is this their actual account? I don't know. Now I have to go click on the account. Now, oh, fuck it. I lost my witty remark already. Like, and nobody wants to reply to, like, a goddamn, bot that's imitating somebody. I mean, that just looks fucking terrible, right? But, yeah, that... And kind of a lot of other Twitter culture just died when Elon Musk joined. Let's be honest. It kind of had its own unique feel to it, and it just kind of went away. Like, I don't know why it stopped being fun when Elon Musk went ahead and bought it. But, that was kind of that. It's been declining, but people are just kind of like, oh, well, fuck it. It's been declining. Some people are still using it as regular. Other people have stopped using it as much. Some people have stopped using it entirely. And now it's been rebranded to X, which was the next just fatal fucking blow. I don't know why you would take something so ingrained in everybody as Twitter. I mean, Twitter was kind of genius in its own right with its marketing and advertising and stuff. It was Twitter. It had a bird as its logo, a blue bird as its logo, which was fantastic, right? It worked. And every time you made a post, it would be called a tweet. And you could retweet where you would like take somebody else's tweet and pretty much put it on your page. Like it was awesome. The branding and marketing behind it was shockingly good. Like I don't think anybody gave it enough credit. And Elon Musk said, you know what? Fuck that. We're changing it to X. I mean, there's no creativity there. I'm pretty sure you could give a 6-month-old baby the naming responsibilities of Elon Musk's new app, and it would probably come up with something more creative. Just babbling out like random fucking things. It would probably be more creative in a lot of people's eyes than X. It's bad, right? It's bad. And the thing is that it's not like completely crossed over. Like all of the branding on the website now does say X, but I believe links and stuff still say Twitter. So it's like, I don't know. It's so weird. It's just fucked up. Like I'm going to always call it Twitter because why the fuck would I call it X? I'm just going to keep calling it Twitter. But essentially, that was shit, right? So he's done two shit things. He's destroyed like the culture that was behind Twitter, and he rebranded it and fucked up all of its marketing, which was also terrible. So he's done two, and I honestly think this should be his like third strike, right? Because let's be honest. It's if you're gonna have to pay for Twitter, nobody's gonna be on Twitter. I mean, who the fuck is gonna pay a monthly fee to be on Twitter of all places? Like, it's not very prestigious. 90% of people are on Twitter just to shitpost. Like nobody's gonna pay to shitpost. It's not gonna happen. So, Twitter will probably die and it'll be gone forever. And let's be honest, Instagram Threads is just not gonna fill the void. It's not the same. I'm sorry, Mark Zuckerberg, but you couldn't do it. You've created the dating app of all time, Instagram, right? But you're not gonna make the new Twitter. So now segueing into the next goddamn topic, right? So, segueing into this one, this is probably going to be the last like big news one, but I don't know. I might have some random shit to talk about at the end. Megan the Stallion. Now, recently she has posted a video of herself dancing. We'll say dancing, right? And this could be the greatest video of all time. It's certainly up there. And, our good friend Aiden Ross, somebody who I don't particularly, like, just commented on it and said something like, I don't know, free Tory lanes, and I don't know why you would do that. Let me see if I can fucking find this shit again, because there's a lot of preparation that goes on this podcast, as you could tell. I definitely have clips and everything just, on the ready, right? I definitely know what I'm doing. I'm totally not stalling so I could find this. And, this is going really well, really fucking well, as we can all tell. There we go. Okay. So, he reacted to the video and he said, "We don't care, free Tory." Now, first of all, if you don't understand the situation that he's referencing, maybe you don't. Maybe you're just a YouTube viewer. Maybe you like my commentary stuff, and you're like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not into like, other drama that's out there on the internet. Well, Tory Lanez essentially shot Megan Thee Stallion, right? And he faced legal consequences for that because, when you shoot somebody, you face legal consequences, believe it or not, right? It's fucking wild. So he shot Megan Thee Stallion, faced legal consequences. I believe he is in jail, prison, I don't know, for the foreseeable future, right? I don't know necessarily the length of his sentence. I don't know what he got charged with. But basically he got in trouble because he shot Megan Thee Stallion, and now he is locked up. So, Tory Lanez is friends, acquaintances, at least with, Aiden Ross, right? He did the whole thing. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to embarrass myself. But, the something about the toes and the fucking manicured, pedicured toes. I don't know, whatever the fuck he said. The hose and the toes. The hose and the toes freestyle. That's what I'm going to call it. But, that was pretty much, that was that. He did that. So obviously he knows Aiden Ross, right? Obviously they have some kind of connection. They're probably friends because Aiden Ross is friends with like fucking everybody. So, that's pretty much that, right? He shot Megan Thee Stallion. He got in trouble. And Aiden Ross, commenting, "We don't care, free Tory." Like, that's fucking crazy, dude. Like, that's absolutely insane. I mean, at the end of the day, Megan Thee Stallion may be a huge, popular rapper, right? And, her posting a video of her, shaking ass on the internet. I mean, not everybody has to care about it, right? If you're huge and you post shit, sometimes people don't give a fuck, right? If you're little and you post shit, people don't give a fuck, right? There's people who I'm sure come across my videos and are like, why the fuck are you talking about this? I don't give a fuck. And, you're entitled to your opinion, right? If you think that, that's fine. But then to put free, like, Tory under her, as like a comment on her thing, like, that's kind of fucked up because at the end of the day, she is a victim of a shooting. Like, she got shot. She she is a victim of like fucking assault, basically. And so to say, "Oh, fuck you, don't care about you, free my bro," like, that's just fucked up. That's fucked up. Like, if we made Megan Thee Stallion, if we just like take a second to think about this and say, maybe let's look at her as not like this huge, popular fucking celebrity, right? Let's just, peel back the layers and look at her as a person, right? If this was any other normal person that had been shot by like any other normal person, and you put that under somebody's goddamn, like, if you commented that on their thing, I mean, the amount of fucking backlash you would get would be insane. Like, if we're talking about just a normal girl who got shot by a normal guy, like, that's insane. If you said, "Oh, we don't give a fuck about your post, free the dude who shot you," like, the amount of backlash you would get would be fucking crazy, dude. But the weird thing with Aiden Ross is that this gains popularity. Like, people are genuinely backing, like, this comment and shit. They're like, "Oh yeah, fuck Megan Thee Stallion, free Tory Lanez," because I'm a big ass Tory Lanez fan. Like, like, that's fucked. That's fucked. There's no other way to look at that besides fucked. And he shouldn't get the amount of support that he gets for doing shit like that. And yes, I understand he gets plenty of fucking backlash as well. Obviously, I mean, there's two sides to everything on the internet. There's gonna be people who like back you no matter what, whether you say like the dumbest shit because they're fans of you and they like genuinely just devote their life to you, like they're weird parasocial fucking fans that are gonna back you absolutely no matter what. And then there's going to be people who fucking hate you no matter what. It doesn't matter if you ended world hunger. People are going to be like, yeah, you know what? Fuck you. You did it the wrong way or some shit like that, right? But then there's going to be, you know, a weird middle ground people who maybe might be slight fans of you, maybe slightly don't, you know, dislike you, that are just going to relatively like look at this and go, you know what? This is fucked up. Like, this is fucked up shit. And that's kind of where I fall into. Like, I'm not going to, like, absolutely die hard hate on Aiden Ross and say that he could never do anything good ever, or, you know, he could never become a good person. Because like we talked about at the beginning of this episode, you know, it's possible. But, yeah, you know, I mean, to just, like... to go ahead and post this under a victim's thing saying, oh yeah, you know, the aggressor should be free, or the fucking person who shot you should be free, that's fucked up. I mean, there's no way I could, you know, let that slide and say, oh, well, maybe he meant it like this, or, oh, it was a joke, or, you know, some shit like that. It's just blatantly fucked up. So, yeah, you know, that was that, right? That's fucked up. Shout out to Megan Thee Stallion, putting out one of the best videos of the year. And yeah, you know, moving on to the next thing we're going to talk about. We're just fucking moving into me at this point. If you don't know, I am a huge motorsports fan, love cars, love motorsports. Love everything about it. I've talked about it on my channel before in certain instances. I mean, I tried not to let it like run the channel because, I mean, I'm not like a fucking motorsports channel, or anything like that. I don't talk about it. I don't play like the games on my channel. Trust me, I do plenty of sim racing, on my own free time. That takes up majority of my free time, but you know, my channel's not about that, right? So, I don't like to put it on the channel too much, but given that this is kind of a bullshit podcast thing that I got going on, you know, I thought might as well throw it in here. So, you know, for those 3 people that are watching this that might be fans of motorsport, and specifically, I'm talking about Formula One today, then, you know, this segment is for you. And if you're not a fan, you know, maybe this sparks some interest. But recently, if you've not been watching Formula One, you know, Red Bull Racing has won 16 races in a row, I believe is the number. All the way from some race last year up until Monza of this year. So I believe 16 races, which is, you know, a record-breaking number of races in a row to win. I think before the record was like 12, and that was set by McLaren, you know, pre-2000s. I don't know if it's the 80s or in the 90s. It's one of those two, but I don't want to sound like a dumbass. But yeah, you know, McLaren, very impressive stuff back then, and now Red Bull has said, you know what, I can do better. So they did 16 races in a row, won. Every single race of the season so far, up till Singapore, right? And Max Verstappen, who is the current reigning world champion, you know, the defending champion, had won 10 in a row, all the way from Miami to Monza. You know, every single one won by him, which is also a record-breaking number, taking it from, you know, Sebastian Vettel, who, while racing at Red Bull, won, you know, a shocking 9 in a row, which was really impressive. And so 10 in a row is even more impressive, right? But all things have to come to an end. And recently in Singapore, Red Bull got fucked up, and that was it. That was it for Red Bull. They finished 5th from Max Verstappen and somewhere further down, still in the points, but pretty far down for a Red Bull from Sergio Perez, right? And that was that. The winning streak was over. Now, a lot of people are like, "Oh, Red Bull's finished. It's the end. It's the end for Red Bull." I don't think it's the end for Red Bull. I think that notoriously they have struggled at Singapore. Max Verstappen has led 3 laps of the Singapore Grand Prix in his entire career, which started in, I believe, 2015, I think. So, I mean, that's a very long, time to not do well. And if you don't do well for that long at a specific track, you probably are not going to do very well, in the next one or the one after that, unless you just magically, it happens. Like I said, I do a lot of sim racing, right? There are certain tracks where I cannot get right for the life of me. Like there's certain tracks where it's gonna be fucked. I'm just not going to have a good time at them. I'm probably not going to win a race at them. Then there's other tracks where I do exceptionally well, like, for example, Le Mans. Le Mans is one of my tracks that I do exceptionally well at. If you throw me into a prototype car, like an LMP1 especially, I am a fucking demon around that track. I'm unstoppable. I'm literally like beating real life qualifying times and shit. I'm really good at that track, right? Especially for my kind of level of sim racing. Like I'm fucking amazing there. But, put me in, I don't know, Monaco, I'm shit. I'm so shit. Like I will be the fucking back. I'm so terrible. And so it just happens. There's certain tracks where people just can't get right. And I think Singapore is one of those. So I think Red Bull will come back. Red Bull as a team has struggled at Singapore for a while. So it's not really a surprise that they fucked it up. I know that there's some people saying, oh, well, Red Bull's fucked because they fixed the flexi wing and the flexi floor and, oh, well, it's all fucked. The regulations are doing them in now. It's time for Red Bull to end and go, burn in a fucking hole. They're done forever. But it's like, you can't really say that because at the end of the day, Max Verstappen still went from 11th to 5th. And just about got into 4th. If there would have been one more lap, he likely would have passed Leclerc. So, I don't think that the Red Bull performed incredibly shit. And Max was still fucking cheerful and shit at the end of the day. So, did Red Bull throw away the greatest winning streak of all time? Yes. Did Max Verstappen throw away the greatest winning streak of all time? Yes. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's the end for Red Bull. However, it is the end of this episode of the podcast. First episode is coming to an end. I don't really have anything else to talk about today, so I hope you guys enjoyed, the podcast. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. There probably wasn't much to watch because, like I said, I plan on making this just easy for me. So low editing. So I'll probably throw together some cover image or something for it, but outside of that, that's pretty much that. Thank you to the loud car that just drove past my house. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to me on YouTube. I don't know where I'm going to upload this. I would like to try and get this on like Spotify, or something like that if I can. I don't know how all of that works, but I'm going to try my best to do something like that. But if I can't, then I don't know, it's going to live on YouTube. So, subscribe to my YouTube, depending on where you're watching this. And also, go follow me on Twitter or X, which could be useless because, I'm not fucking paying a monthly fee to be on there. And, I also have an Instagram. Go follow that. And I have a subreddit. So, if you ever want to give video ideas or some shit like that, make memes, I don't know, whatever the fuck you want to do, I have a subreddit. So, go check that out as well. I'll try and put all the links up on screen. Maybe they've been up on screen the whole time. I don't know. I'm trying to do, I don't know what I want to do with this. I'm trying to like lay the concept out in my head as I go. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time on the next podcast episode, but I will also probably see you for a normal video tomorrow. So yeah, see you guys later. Have a good one. Goodbye.